Good morning. Luna and I are getting out for a walk before the rain comes. There's been a weather warning issued, so the rain is coming. I just don't know how windy, like it's really windy out, so I don't know how good this audio is going to be, whether the wind is going to make that up, but we'll persevere. As I've mentioned a few times, I've recently moved house, and when you move house, you're very much confronted with how much stuff you have. Now, I was quite good and I did get rid of quite a lot of stuff, but I still have a lot. And part of that is because of the business, right? So I've got loads of stuff for the business. I've got loads of unmade stock, I've got made stock, I've got all of the stuff that goes, like, you know, all the packaging, all of the stuff. All of the stuff that I need to make the stock as well. So there's a lot that comes with that, but because I've had my kitchen done, and so I have more cupboards than I would have done. In my last house was bigger, but my kitchen also was bigger, but the actual cupboards were not. And I used to struggle to find spaces to put stuff. I think I'm going to have the same issue here, and therefore, even though I've got more cupboards, and I've definitely got more worktop space, so that's great. The point of what I'm trying to say though is that it's made me confront why I might have held on to this stuff and why I have so many like material things, just stuff. And it's made me realise that I'm coming from a place of scarcity. So when I was a kid, like my mum and dad split up when I was really young. I was really fortunate in that I had an uncle and a nan that did spoil me in the sense of like certainly their time. If I wanted something, like, and my uncle was interested in it too, then I would have it. So like, say for example, Meccano, or I was quite a tomboy, Meccano, remote control car racing, shotgun shooting. We did all sorts of stuff, and I was really, really lucky in that sense. But my mum would work all the hours God sends. I didn't get a great amount of time with her because she was working so much, and she didn't have a great deal to show for it after, like, the money that she needed to spend out for our living, like, you know, the roof over our head, etc. So in terms of like what we had at the house and my clothes and what we could afford food wise and stuff like that, like, don't get me wrong, I never went hungry, but my mum would certainly tell me off a lot if I hadn't eaten my dinner or my lunch, or I used to, obviously at the time didn't know I had ADHD, but I used to get like fixated on a food, say it was Kit Kat, orange Kit Kats or orange clubs, and then I'd get bored of them and I didn't want them anymore. My mum had just bought a load when they were on offer. And then she'd get really annoyed because she'd be like, well, why aren't you eating these? And I'd be like, oh, I'm bored of them now. So, and then I'd have to eat them. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you have a friend or a family member, or you yourself, somebody that is a bit of a hoarder or has a lot of stuff, try to be kind to them. Try not to laugh at them. It's not their fault. It's probably coming from a place of scarcity and a place of, like, they didn't have when they were kids. Most things root back to our childhood, but I definitely feel like that's something for me that really does. And that's something that I'm like, as I'm unpacking my stuff for the kitchen, I'm having to be quite brutal and just tell myself with kindness that it's okay. I don't need this stuff. This stuff doesn't make me more important or more lovable or more worthy of somebody's love or care or attention. So yeah, I just thought I'd share those thoughts really. And if you're going to comment on how much stuff they have, try and come from a supportive place. So rather than saying, oh my god, why have you got so much stuff, say, oh, like, you seem to have a lot of stuff. Is there any particular reason why you've held on to so much? Would you like to get rid of some of this stuff? Is that something I can help you with? You don't need this stuff to be loved. I love you anyway. Like, come from a place of support, love and care, rather than a place of heckling and like laughing at something. Because the reality is it's probably not their fault.